I never thought I'd end up here, honestly. My name's Jake, and I was with Emily for about 5 years before everything hit the fan. We'd been planning our wedding, getting everything ready, and honestly, I thought we were solid. She seemed happy enough, or at least she pretended to be. I mean, I had my doubts sometimes, little things that didn't quite add up, like her sneaky phone habits or late nights that she'd brush off with a tight-lipped smile. I figured maybe she was just stressed or busy with work, but deep down I was starting to feel uneasy. We were supposed to get married in a month, and I couldn't shake this gnawing feeling that something was wrong. I kept telling myself I was paranoid. Trust is everything, right? But then, one night, I decided to do a little digging. I had this gut feeling that I couldn't ignore anymore. I went through her phone while she was out with her friends, and that's when I saw it. There were texts, not just friendly stuff but flirty messages, suggestive emojis, and even plans to meet up. My stomach just dropped. My wife, the girl I loved, was cheating on me. With our mutual friend, Mike, I couldn't believe what I was reading. My mind spun so fast it felt like I was going to be sick. How had I missed all the signs? She'd always been bitchy when I asked about her late nights, always lying about where she'd been or who she was talking to. I'd caught her in little lies before, but I never suspected anything like this. It's like she had this whole other life I never knew about. The betrayal cut deep. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. It was too much to process. This wasn't just a fling or a one-time thing. It was serious, and it had been going on for months. I remember sitting there, trembling, clutching her phone like it was a weapon. My head was spinning, and I couldn't focus on anything else. I felt so stupid for trusting her, so naive for thinking she loved me. I kept asking myself how I missed it all. Was I blind? Did I ignore all the signs? All the little things I brushed off because I wanted to believe she was the one? I kept thinking about our future, our plans, the wedding day we'd been dreaming of. It just shattered in an instant. The betrayal wasn't just about the sex. It was about the lies, the deception, and the fact that she'd done this right before we were supposed to get married. How could she do this to me? How could she betray me with someone I trusted so deeply? After I found those messages, I couldn't sleep. My mind kept circling around what I'd seen, replaying her words, the suggestive emojis, the plans to meet up. I felt this burning rage mixed with heartbreak. I wanted to break something, to scream at her, but I knew I had to keep calm, at least for now. I needed to confront her, but I wasn't sure what I was going to say or how she'd react. Part of me hoped she'd deny it, call me crazy, or say it was all a mistake. But deep down, I knew what I saw was real. The next morning, I waited until she was getting ready for work. I remember standing in the doorway, my hands shaking, trying to keep my voice steady. When she came out of the bathroom, I just blurted, "Who's Mike? What's going on between you two?" Her face immediately froze, like she hadn't expected me to find out so soon. She looked at me with this snide, bitchy smirk and said, "Oh, you saw that, huh? Honestly, Jake, it's none of your business. I was just having some fun, that's all. It doesn't mean anything." I was stunned. I couldn't believe she'd lie straight to my face. I felt a mixture of disgust and fury boiling inside me. How could she be so callous, so dismissive? I told her I knew everything, and she just shrugged, acting like it was no big deal. She kept saying things like, "You're overreacting," or "It's just sex. It's not like I love him." But I knew better. I could see it in her eyes, her smugness, her arrogance. She thought she could get away with it, that she was untouchable. That confrontation marked a turning point. I realized I couldn't just brush this off or pretend it didn't happen. I felt betrayed on every level, by her, by Mike, by myself. For days afterward, I was in this emotional fog. I swung from angry to devastated, from feeling helpless to feeling a desire for revenge. How dare she? How dare she cheat on me with someone I trusted so much? I thought we were supposed to be building a life together, and here she was, throwing it all away for some meaningless sex with our supposed friend. It was like my entire world was crumbling, and I didn't know how to fix it or even if I should. All I knew was that I'd been played for a fool, and now I had to figure out what to do next. Over the next few days, I couldn't get her out of my head. Every time I tried to focus on work or what was left of my normal life, those messages kept flashing in my mind. I kept asking myself how she could be so bitchy, so dismissive of what she'd done. She lied repeatedly, brushing off my questions, acting like I was ridiculous for even bringing it up. She'd say things like, "It's just sex, Jake. It meant nothing. You're making a bigger deal out of it than it is." But I knew better. When someone cheats, it's never just about sex. It's betrayal, plain and simple. One night, I decided I needed to see her reaction face to face. I told her I wasn't going to keep pretending everything was okay. I told her I wanted the truth straight from her. That's when she got really bitchy, rolling her eyes and giving me that "you're crazy" look. She said, "You're just insecure, Jake. You think everyone's out to get you. I don't know what you want from me." She tried to turn it around, making it seem like I was overreacting, like I was the one at fault for even suspecting her. That moment I saw how deep her bitchiness ran, how she could lie so easily, how she had zero remorse. I felt my blood boil. I realized I was dealing with someone who was completely manipulative. I wasn't just hurt anymore, I was angry. I wanted to make her pay for this, but I also knew that revenge wasn't going to fix the damage she'd done to my trust. Still, the thought of her with Mike, laughing at me behind my back, ate at me. I started plotting, trying to think of some way to make her regret her actions, to teach her a lesson she would forget. I wasn't exactly the type to seek revenge, but with her I felt like I had no choice. She played me for a fool and thought she could get away with it. The hardest part was the emotional toll. I'd always been a trusting guy, believing honesty was the foundation of any relationship. Now I was questioning everything: the past, the future, my own judgment. I kept asking myself how I missed all the signs, how I was so blind to her true nature. It made me feel pathetic, like I'd been stupid for believing in her love. I was so hurt, so betrayed, that I barely recognized myself anymore. And that bitchy attitude she kept throwing at me only made me more determined to find a way to stand up for myself. I knew I had to do something, but I wasn't sure what yet. All I knew was I wasn't going to let her get away with this without consequences. After a few more days of stewing over everything, I decided that I needed to do something drastic. I couldn't just sit around and let her keep lying, pretending she was innocent. I spent hours thinking about how to expose her, how to make her see that I wasn't some idiot she could manipulate. That's when I came up with my plan, one that I knew would hit her where it hurt. I wasn't just looking to confront her anymore. I wanted her to feel the same betrayal, if not worse, than what she'd inflicted on me. I started gathering evidence. I knew her schedule enough by now. She was predictable in her bitchy attitude, and I had a good idea when she'd be home alone. I set up a little hidden camera in the bedroom, just to catch her in the act if she was stupid enough to do something again. I also kept her phone, just to monitor her texts and calls. I wanted her to see I was serious. I felt this surge of cold determination, mixed with a sick sense of satisfaction that I was finally going to take control of the situation. Then, one evening, I made my move. I waited until she was out for her usual girls' night, knowing she'd be at some bar with her friends. I checked the footage from the camera. There she was, sneaking into the house alone, acting nervous. I felt a strange mix of anger and triumph. I knew I had her. When she got home, I was waiting in the living room with her phone in my hand, ready to confront her with everything. Her bitchy attitude immediately surfaced. She scoffed, rolled her eyes, tried to deny everything. I pressed play on the footage and her face went pale. She stammered, trying to lie her way out of it, but I wasn't buying it anymore. Her reaction was priceless. She got defensive, saying, "It's not what it looks like, and you're overreacting again." She kept twisting her words, trying to manipulate me into doubt, but I'd seen enough. I told her I knew about her affair with Mike, that I had proof. She looked furious, then desperate, as if she hadn't expected me to catch her so easily. That's when she started her bitchy, condescending tirade, telling me I was crazy, that I was just jealous, that she deserved better than me. She kept lying, acting like it was all some big misunderstanding, but I knew the truth. The betrayal was out in the open now, and I wasn't going to let her brush it off. The emotional roller coaster was insane. I felt betrayed, angry, but also a strange sense of clarity. I realized I'd been a fool to trust her so blindly. For all her bitchy lies and manipulative bullshit, I also saw how much she didn't care about me, about us. The woman I thought I knew was just a facade, and that realization hurt worse than the cheating itself. I wanted to destroy her, to make her see that she couldn't get away with this. But I also knew deep down that I had to decide what comes next, whether I fight for the relationship or finally walk away from it all. Either way, I was done being the fool in her game. That night, after confronting her with the evidence, everything changed in an instant. Emily didn't even bother denying it anymore. Her bitchy attitude turned into outright anger, shrieking at me like I was the one in the wrong. "You're so insecure, Jake," she snapped, her eyes blazing with contempt. "You think I'm the problem. You're just jealous because I'm better than you. Mike's just a fun thing, and you're acting like I cheated on you with some deep love or something. Grow up." I couldn't believe her. She was so callous, so arrogant. It was like she didn't care that I just saw her sneaking into our house, lying on top of another man. Her words, her attitude, everything about her was designed to make me feel small, to make me doubt myself. But I'd already seen too much. I felt a cold, hollow ache inside, the kind that settles deep and never quite goes away. I knew then that I couldn't keep pretending this was just a slip-up, just a moment of weakness. This was who she was, bitchy, manipulative, and dishonest. I started packing my things that night. I didn't want to stay, didn't want to keep pretending I was okay with her lying and cheating. I told her she could stay if she wanted, but I wasn't going to be around her anymore. Her face twisted into a sneer, and she spat, "Good. I don't want to be married to some pathetic loser who can't handle the truth." That's when I realized I was done. Done trusting, done loving, done pretending she hadn't broken me into tiny pieces. The emotional aftermath hit hard. I felt numb most of the time, like I was watching my life from outside my body. But there was also this simmering rage at her, at Mike, at myself for not seeing it coming. I kept asking why I wasn't enough, why she'd throw everything away for some quick sex and some asshole friend. It felt like my world was crashing down, and each moment I was trying to find some ounce of strength to move forward. Honestly, I still don't know exactly what I want. Part of me just wants her to feel what I felt, to suffer a little. But I also know I deserve better. That's the thing I keep telling myself now, even as I still hurt. I learned the hard way that trust isn't something you can take for granted, and betrayal cuts so deep it leaves scars you never fully heal from. Since I kicked her out, life hasn't exactly been smooth sailing, but I've started to piece myself back together. It's been a roller coaster, days where I feel like I've finally taken control, and others where the pain hits me all over again. I've realized that Emily was never really who I thought she was, which sucks, but it also freed me from the illusion I was living in. I learned a brutal lesson about trust, about not ignoring the signs, and about how some people can be so bitchy and manipulative, even when they act like everything's fine. I won't lie, I still think about her sometimes. About how she lied and cheated right before our wedding, how she thought she could get away with it. And yeah, I get angry all over again. But I also feel a strange sense of relief. I don't have to pretend anymore. I don't have to wonder if she's lying or hiding something. I see her for what she really was, selfish, bitchy, and a liar. And honestly, I'm better off without her. If there's anything I've learned from all this, it's to trust myself more and to listen to those little gut feelings. Don't ignore the signs, no matter how much you want to believe in someone. Because sometimes betrayal isn't just about sex. It's about the lie, the manipulation, the betrayal of everything you thought was real. I don't know what's next for me, but I do know I'll be more cautious, more aware. I'll never let someone like Emily make me feel this broken again. For anyone out there going through something similar, just know you're not alone. It hurts now, but eventually time will heal those wounds and you'll come out stronger. Trust is fragile, and when it's broken, it's almost impossible to repair. But you can survive it. You can rebuild. And someday, maybe you'll even laugh about it. I'm trying to find that day myself.